All right. Good morning once again, guys. Thank you again for coming back and joining us with 10 Gauge Outdoors. Couple of things I want to talk about today, or one thing, but a couple of items, is personal protection while hunting. Another thing that people don't really think about. Some people might not have a need for it. I have a huge need for it. It's something that I do may be useful to somebody else out there that doesn't really hadn't thought about it. Thought, well, you know, that's a good idea. Whatever, maybe I can help somebody. Just trying to use my years of experience out in the woods and the outdoors to maybe try to help somebody else, give them an idea, or help somebody get to where they want to be in their woodsmanship. So, there's a disclaimer that I want to talk about that I personally want to just tell you guys. Seeing other videos on other YouTube channels that maybe just talk about firearms, a lot of times there's comments on safety check firearms. On this channel, 10 Gauge Outdoors, there may be a time or two here and there as we go along that we're going to talk about a firearm. But there's something that you will never see me do on this channel or on a video, and that is safety check a firearm on the video. Not going to do it. There's no need in it. Now, look, I am 110%, just so you know, 110% all for firearm safety, training. I'm deeply invested in it. Will practice it at all times, and I hope you do too. But there's three reasons I'm not going to safety check a firearm on this channel during the video. That is, one, I'm going to safety check all firearms that I'm going to talk about on this channel prior to doing the video. And two, it is my responsibility to make sure that I take care of my welfare by checking firearms and not causing harm to myself by talking and handling a firearm that's not been checked and unloaded. It's my responsibility, not y'all's. And thirdly, most important reason that you will not see me safety check a firearm in a video on this channel is because you can't get shot by watching the video in case something goes wrong on my end. Now that's just for all you safety Sallys out there. Not trying to be ugly, but I just want to make that point. Now moving on, not dwelling on something and beating a dead horse. What I do want to talk about today is two firearms, two pistols, and the use I have for these that some people don't think about. I don't think a lot of times. Maybe they don't have a use for it. Maybe they didn't know they needed it or had a use for it. Just want to share it with you guys out there and see if it maybe helps somebody. Again, that's what we're about, 10 Gauge Outdoors, taking experience being out in the outdoors and sharing it with others so maybe they can learn or become better at what they do, or just get interested and maybe take that step to get out there outside. Do something outside. Get out of the house, get out from behind the TV screen, computer screen, phone screen, and go do something outside that's fun and get involved with your family and other people. That's what we'd like to see you do, the purpose of this channel. But something that I do is, no matter what I am hunting, no matter what I'm hunting, whether I'm hunting game with a shotgun, whether I'm hunting game with a rifle, or whether I'm hunting game with a bow, especially with a bow, or what I'm hunting for or what I'm hunting with, I'm always going to have a pistol on me. Always. I've run into several reasons needing that years and years ago, and I'm going to share a couple of those with you so you'll understand what I'm talking about, and we'll talk about the two pistols that I may have on me at any point in time while I'm hunting, or even fishing, fishing too. But my point is if you're walking in the woods an hour before daylight, get out there and get set up and everything so you can be there at the first break of day. If you're walking in there with a bow to go deer hunting, and in my case, where I hunt, North Mississippi, down in the bottoms and stuff, we have a large amount of bobcats, a extremely huge amount of coyotes, and a large amount of wild hogs. in that vicinity, all 3 of those. I have had coyotes circle me while I'm dragging deer out from, it's mainly public property a lot of times, but circle me while I'm dragging deer out. Coyotes trying to get my deer from me. If you're hunting with a rifle, that'd be great. If they're circling you and you've got a scoped rifle and those coyotes come and try to take your deer or bite you or take you, which they will be known to do, a scoped rifle at close range in a quick situation is useless. You can't aim it, you can't look at it, you can only just guesstimate where you're shooting at and shoot it from the hip. Not going to be the best thing. You probably can get by with it, but it's not the best thing. When you have an external or an extra, a backup, say, or a personal protection firearm on you besides what the firearm that you're hunting with, you can use it at close range and do a better job on self-defense or taking care of protecting your game that you've harvested or what have you. Another instance that I run into, walking in the woods with a bow, hour before daylight, run into 5 or 6 hogs. And they start snorting and getting up, and I can't even see them. I didn't know I'd come up on them, and I was just a few yards from them. And luckily, they darted out every which way and was scared because I had a light, and all I had was my bow. And I thought, well, I'm walking in the woods an hour before daylight with a stick and a string and no way to protect myself until I get to where I'm going to go and get up in my climbing stand, and I got my bow and I'm good to go. So now when I go in the woods with a bow, I have my bow and my backpack and everything on my back and my hands free, one with a light and one with a pistol as I'm walking in the woods and, in the dark. For coyotes that might be there I've had coyotes to stalk me while I'm walking in the woods or going into the woods early in the morning like that, and you don't know they're there until they're almost on you. Run into hogs. Those things, you need protection against some animals that you run into. Up north, you might run into bears or something like that, and I don't have that issue down here, but you may in your area. You may have different animals that you come in contact with that you may need to protect yourself from in case you run into them while you're looking for a different animal to actually harvest or hunt. The people don't think about this, but my biggest deal is walking in the woods hour before daylight with even a scoped rifle. And in the dark with a light and a scoped rifle and something that's in close quarters that you encounter is useless. You can't look through that scope. You can't got time to aim. You can only maybe fire it and get a warning shot off and scare them, or maybe possibly hit the animal if you get lucky. But if you have a pistol on you and a light, you can do some good in protecting yourself. That's a very real and serious problem where I hunt at. Those animals are fearless, especially when they get your scent and they figure out what you're doing. Excuse me. Also, like I said before, when you're leaving and maybe you harvest some game, you're trying to come out, and maybe you're coming out, a lot of times deer hunting, you're spending that last couple of minutes of daylight trying to give it all you got to see an animal to harvest. And if you do, it may be dark when you're dragging it out or what have you, and it just leaves a blood trail as far as you're going, and them coyotes pick that up and they come, and you got to be able to protect yourself and your game. That is a very real and serious problem where I hunt at. But having that weapon on you as a secondary line of defense, not against two-legged mammals like people, not necessarily, could be, but to have it for protection against predator animals that may be trying to take your game or trying to harm you going in and out of the wilderness. Very important to me. I won't be caught without it. There could be too. If you park your truck and you walk 3 or 4, even 5 miles away from the truck to get to where you're going, or you're making a round trip to check game and see what's going on and coming back to the truck and you're several miles from your vehicle, there could be somebody out there on that public land, because when you're on public land, don't be a fool and think you're the only one there. There may be other people there and you don't know it. But they're watching you and they see what's going on. And they may decide that they want your gun, or they like your gun, or they want to rob you. There's a lot of crazy people out there in the woods now. Don't be a fool and be mistaken and just take it for granted. Be on your guard at all times. And this is just serious, real world conversation we're having right now. Because if they want to rob you and you're standing there with a shotgun or a rifle or a bow that you're hunting with, and they don't see a otherwise concealed or put away firearm that's only a maybe need or if in case need. It's not really what you're hunting with, and they walk up to you and they've been watching you for an hour walk around, and they see you with that shotgun or rifle or what have you, and they're going to point their gun and hold you up and try to rob you. Say, hey, put your gun down. You put it down, you give it to them, whatever you got to do, and when you get a chance, you don't let them know you have that secondary firearm on, and when you get a chance, you can pull it and protect yourself. And otherwise, what would be a very bad situation 3 or 4 miles from the woods, and people can't hear you holler down there in the backwoods of where I'm living at. You'll just be got. That's all I can tell you about that. But I have not personally experienced that, but I know of a couple of people that have encountered some similar situations, have told me about it and where it was, and I just choose to have a secondary pistol. I will have a pistol on me every time I go into the woods. No, even if I'm using a shotgun, a rifle, or a bow, I will still have that pistol on me just for self-protection against other animals mainly. 99% of the time, or a possible run-in with somebody that wants to cause me harm. Now, those two pistols are, one is called, this pistol is from Traditions Performance Firearms. This is because I forget, a 4 3/4 inch barrel. Blued barrel with colored case hardening on the frame. You can see it's got a lot of color to it. It's made just a little bit harder. Color case hardening is what that's called. It gets a little color to it. Blued cylinder, blued barrel, walnut grips. Very nice pistol. Not very expensive. I think I got this one for somewhere around $400 on sale at the time. Give a shout out to Bud's Gun Shop. They do a real good job on having stock and getting it out to you. I've had this gun 2 or 3 years. I can't remember now, 2 or 3 years. But that's made by Traditions. That's their logo there, so you'll know. But it is just a single action Army, replica of a Colt 45. It is in 45 long Colt. You got the standard half cock, turn the cylinder, and you load each one at a time, just like the old Western days. And this one actually has a roller pin in there that if I have it closed and I have all 6 cylinders loaded, you hit the hammer, it will not fire, because that right here is not what hits the bullet. This little roller pin here has to come up and actually be there to do that. So that's another safety feature of this particular firearm. The old Western pistols actually had a spur here on the hammer, and that's what fired. So if you had all 6 cylinders loaded and you had that spur laying on there, you could hit it and it would fire that round. But that's not the case with this one. A little newer technology and an old look. But that's a 4 3/4 inch blued with color case hardening on the frame, walnut grips, and it's just a 45 long Colt, just a standard Western style. Now, I like to use this particular gun because it will shoot of course, 45 long Colt ammo, which is big ammo. There's some balled ammo. I have some hollow points I use for certain things. And I also have some rat shot. But the rat shot in the 45 long Colt has a considerable amount of BBs. I mean, a lot of BBs in what I call rat shot. But it's in 45 long Colt. And because it's such a big bullet, you get a lot of BBs in there. And what I usually do is I load 3 of the what I call rat shot, and I load 3 regular cartridges with bullets of some sort for whatever reason, whatever use I got in the woods. Because in the turkey woods, I use this for possible snakes, where you take a 10 gauge, as y'all know, with 3.5 Magnum turkey load, and you got a snake that happens to come up on you just 2 or 3 feet from you. That's maybe a little hard to get that round and fire it right there that close to you. This you can pull out of a holster and shoot and get a snake, or you can shoot a snake and it's not near as loud as that shotgun. That may help you in not scaring your prey away. But I usually load 3 rat shot, 3 regular shells. I can half cock it and I can turn it to whichever one I want and let it down, and we'll be good to go. So I have you can't really do that with a magazine fed pistol. It's hard to take the magazine out and pull out bullets and shuffle them around. When here you can just turn it right quick and then you'll be on what you need. But that also take care of coyotes. Those rat shot at a close distance will tear up some animals and get them off of you. But I like to use it in a holster. I use a lot of leather holsters, but this is an old school Western style looped with the ammo loops in the back. This is a cross draw holster. All my leather is made by Triple K. That's their logo right there. It says Triple K. They're a place out of California, which I don't really like that aspect of it, but as far as around here, but they been making holsters and stuff since the late 1800s, and they're still in business, and they make it the old school way. But I like to wear this particular belt. Get it on here for you. There we go. And I'll show you this belt here. I wear it on the outside of my pants, of course, and then that cross draw holster kind of fits like that. So if you have a shirt on over it, your turkey vest, or your even coveralls, you can unzip and you can reach in. If you have it on this side and you have coveralls on, it's hard to get into coveralls and get a gun drawn. But right here, you just pull it out in one hand, and it's free, ready to go, and you can put it just about anywhere there. But that goes in, shirt goes over, coveralls goes over, and I just forget about it. I have it on because I don't need it. But if I do need it, I'll have it. But I always carry a pistol firearm when I'm in the woods, no matter what else I'm hunting with. If I'm hunting with a shotgun, rifle, bow, whatever it is, I'm going to use that to do my hunting, but I'm going to have this for self-protection. The second firearm that I want to talk about is a Taurus. This particular one is a stainless steel finish. It is a 357 Magnum. It will shoot, of course, any 357 will shoot 38 specials. So anybody familiar with firearms, a 357 knows that. But this particular firearm is I forget, I was trying to tell you what. This 4-inch barrel, 6 rounds, of course, just like the other one, 6-round pistol, 357 Magnum, and it's made by Taurus. I have had and have many Taurus items. Some people that I talk to kind of down Taurus, that's kind of a cheapy pistol. I've never had any problems with them, and that I can speak of. The one time that I did have a problem with a trigger not setting just so in the little snub nose, I called Taurus, sent it back to them. They paid for the shipping there, paid for the shipping back, fixed it. I gave them the receipt. It was a newer gun, and it was just a fluke from the factory. They fixed it, sent it right back, and I had no issues. And I've never had an issue with any other previously owned or any Tauruses I own now. But that's a 357 Magnum. See, it has the cylinder that drops out. The single action Army, its cylinder stays in. You have to turn it and load it one at a time, and then you have to empty it one at a time. But it's a very nice pistol, 4-inch barrels, not too big, not too small. But a snub nose versus this one, if you're shooting rat shot in the snub nose, it spreads real quick and not very far. So as soon as you shoot a snub nose with rat shot, it's probably going to be about 2 or 3 feet from you. It's going to be 3 or 4 foot round, and you won't get any distance out of it. It's great if something's right there on you. But for this one, I mainly use it if it's raining. If it's going to be a bad weather day, this is one I'm going to take because it takes less maintenance as far as rust and stuff like that. Rubber handle. It doesn't have the wood grips that could get damaged, in bad weather. Stainless steel, easier to maintain in bad weather. Or if I'm going to be in a boat or around the river or water, I'm going to have this one. Snakes. Look, let me tell you. I see people swimming out in the river and the waterways all the time when I'm out there fishing and in the boat, and I'm like, these people are crazy. I know one time we were fishing and a snake come along, coming right toward my wife and child, sitting in lawn chairs right on the edge of the water on a gravel, on a sandbar that had some gravel out in the water, just having their feet in the water while we're fishing, enjoying life and having a good time. And I told my wife, I said, look, there's a snake right there. And it was coming through the water right at them. So I told him to get up, get out of the way, grab my firearm that I had on my side already, and wasn't there to use it, but I did need it. And I let it get a little close. I knew I had that rat shot in one of the cylinders. All you had to do is pop it out, turn it to the one you want. There you go. And pop that snake, and it sunk. It was gone. And there were some people down about, 100 yards from us that heard me shooting. And remember, we're out on the river, out in the wilderness. It doesn't matter about having firearms on the river. Not around where I'm at anyway. But there's going to be water moccasins and cottonmouth snakes and rattlers and stuff like that out there in the water. That's where they live. So don't be a fool and think you don't have snakes out there. And he actually come up to me and said, man, what'd you see? You see something bad in the water? I said, yeah, I just killed a snake right there. See it now? It's floating up toward the shore. He said, well, don't tell my wife and my kids because they won't get back in the water. And I thought, what kind of fool are you? That just goes to show you there's some all kinds out there. But see, I was there fishing, enjoying time with my family. I was prepared for the worst situation, but hoping for the best. Took care of the situation. Nobody got harmed, protected my family, protected myself, and protected him and his family, and he didn't know it. And his whole time was don't worry about it and don't tell nobody because they won't get back in the water. Well, I'm like, I would never let my family go swimming in there anyway, but that's neither here nor there. Just another example of unpreparedness, and I'm all about being prepared. So that's 2 reasons I carry a pistol with me at all times, whether it be, like I said, with hunting with a rifle, a shotgun, or a bow, going in the woods early, coming out of the woods late. I always have a flashlight and a pistol so you can use close quarters self-defense against other animals, possibly even someone trying to cause you harm out in the wilderness where there's nobody there except you and them, and they think they can get away with something. Just something people don't think about, something that I normally practice, maybe something you run into. Up north you may be running into some bears and some other mountain lions and things. Down here we got coyotes and hogs and bobcats, and down south you might have alligators and crocodiles. We have some alligators up here in our waterway system. So you got to be prepared for dangerous animals that are out there while you're enjoying the wilderness. Maybe you're not there to harm them, and maybe they're not there to really harm you, but they don't know no better, and you got to keep yourself protected and your family and those around you. Thanks again for watching 10 Gauge Outdoors. Maybe this helps somebody out there that never thought about it or has considered it, and maybe they have a need for it. But I really hope it helps somebody. And thank you so much for watching 10 Gauge Outdoors. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the subscribers so far. I thank you for helping me build my channel. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate what y'all do. Watch us again and join us again on the next video. And we'll see you soon.